Okay. Welcome once again to Tots and Teas in Focus. I'm your host, Patricia Trim. Welcome you all to Tots and Teens. I know you're not a tot or a teen, but I know you're just right. You're just right for the occasion. My guest today is Professor Kimani Nehusi, and his followers and his members who will be asking questions and asking him questions to talk about what he's saying. Bring them all on. So we have them all on for this moment. Professor, once again, welcome to Tots and Teas in Focus. I know that you are an historian and you're from Guyana, Georgetown, Queenstown, Essequibo, and you live in Philadelphia. I know this morning, but I know that you were able to give us more information about the African relationship to the Egyptian. Because I know years ago, we always see Egyptian head or the dancing or the clothes or something like that. So when you told me, I want to know why Egyptian, they call it the Arab world, or Egypt is made up of a lot of white or straight hair people. And we would see pictures of Black people as Egyptian, even artifacts as Egyptian. Now, could you give us a layout of the African relationship to the Egyptian? Egypt now or Egyptian? Which one? I don't know which one to call it. It's Egypt or Egyptian?
Well, thank you very much for that introduction, Patricia. If you will allow me to share screen, I'll be able to show a number of things that will help to illustrate what we're talking about today. We'll be able to go quickly. Well, let me just say, by way of introduction, thank you very much, Patricia, for giving me the opportunity to explain some of what I want to talk about today. Also, I want to say welcome to all of those people who have joined so that we could have a bit of a discussion. This is the topic, how ancient Egypt relates to Black people. And you'll notice that I put Black in inverted commas because I don't think that that's a word that adequately describes us. We're African people. You could come back to me if you want to come back.
Yes, I will.
But this is what Patricia gave me. And we must be careful to mention ancient Egypt because current Egypt is not peopled by the people who lived there in ancient times and who built the pyramids, who invented all kinds of things, were the first expression of high culture or civilization. So we need to make that distinction. The Arab people who currently predominate in Egypt and the rest of North Africa, when they're en masse in the 5th century AD, after the death of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him. Now, we're going to talk a lot about this language, Medu Neter. The ancient Egyptians called their language Medu Neter. The Greeks and other Europeans call it hieroglyphs. So this was the first written language in the world, and it was invented by African people, so-called Black people. We are the inventors of writing and therefore of reading. And it's important because not only was this the first written language in the world, but when you read ancient Egyptian, you see the first representations of African people, Black people. And we are going to do something today that will show us how we are related to the ancient Egyptians. It doesn't matter which part of the African world you are. It doesn't matter if you call yourself Black or if you know you're an African. You're going to see this relationship. So we're going to see the first models of ourselves and the first institutions. So who were the ancient Egyptians? Their photographs tell us who they were. Look at the color of this person. This is one of the rulers. Here is Hatshepsut, a name that means foremost of noble women in ancient Egyptian. She was one of the leading rulers, so-called queen. This is Taharka. Taharka is one of the people from Nubia, which comes from an ancient Egyptian word for gold. He came up from Nubia in current day Sudan in the 25th dynasty to help to restore things. Now I mention this because there are people who try to tell us, mostly white races, that the ancient Egyptians were not Africans. Arabs try to say that they were the ancient Egyptians too. And it's important for us to know why this is so. In order to keep us in bondage, white people invented false histories about us and told us that we never achieve anything. And that's why they tried to say that ancient Egyptian couldn't belong to us. So I'm going to show you that not only the photographs, but also the culture of ancient Egypt is African. Now, this is a picture, a painting from the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead. The correct name is Pret Em Heru, which means the Book of Obtaining Righteousness. There's something striking about that whole book. Most of the Bible and Christian worship comes from the ancient Egyptian spiritual system. We could go into that another day if you want to. But in this vignette, this picture, what we have here is what is called the weighing of the heart. You will know this as Judgment Day, where in ancient Egypt, people believe that once you die, your soul will undergo certain challenges and it will come to this part, the hall of Mati, and then it will undergo the test, the weighing of the heart. And what this means is that the person had to recite the declarations of innocence. There were 42 of them. Would you kindly mute your is a scene from a book called the Book of Pret Em Heru in ancient Egyptian, which means the Book of Obtaining Righteousness. It is called the Egyptian Book of the Dead by disrespectful people. When the person or a person died, the ancient Egyptians believed that their soul underwent a journey where it was faced with certain challenges. And if it overcome those challenges, it arrived in the great hall of Mati. And this is where the judgment, this is a judgment scene. Now, this is important because the Christian idea of Judgment Day is taken from this. And this is thousands of years before Christ. Here in this judgment scene, the person had to recite the 42 declarations of innocence. I have not done something wrong. I have never done something wrong. And if you make a slip, if you know that you're telling a lie, your heart would skip a beat. It would get heavy. And it is weighed against the feather. This is the feather of truth, ma'at. And this is your heart. And if you know you're telling a lie, psychologically, you feel like a stone, your heart will skip a beat. You'll be devoured, your spirit will be devoured by this fearsome animal. It's important to remember that the declarations of innocence is what was precede to the 10 Commandments. Also from this scene, note.
So this is a scene that you have here that they will be the Declaration of Innocence.
Yes, this illustrates the declarations of innocence.
Okay.
And note that the ancient Egyptians had a scale and weight long before Archimedes decided to invent it, according to certain traditions. These people had invented this scale for thousands of years before. Note also that this is Jehuti, who is recording what is happening. So this is the first historian long before Herodotus, thousands of years. Fact is, Herodotus would go to Egypt to learn things. This is the first risen
About the 40 run into 15, I make a present song. About the 40 run into 15, I make a present song. Liga, 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 I make a present song. Liga, 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 I make a present song. I make money down and the man who be hiding, I make a present song. I make money down and the man who be hiding, I make a present song. Stupid Gary. Let's shake mommy, go marry, go on gory, stupid gory, stupid liga, 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 we'll make it present song. Liga, 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 we'll make it present song. It's like a present, now make a present, it's like a present song. It's like a present, now make a present, it's like a present song. Liga, 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 we'll make your present song. Liga, 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 we'll make your present song. He make a present, she make a present, you make a present song. He make a present, she make a present, you make a present more. Liga, 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 we'll make your present song. Liga, 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 we'll make your present song.
Folk Festival 2017. Let me hear some noise. If you're having a good time, say yeah. If you're having a good time, say yeah, yeah. Having a good time, say yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, sorry to tell you, most of you are not going to make it in the church choir. Because many of you were out the key there. But let me take you back. That time when these songs were nice and good and they meant something to us, but we just couldn't sing them in the house. Because your mother used to ask you, don't sing like that's not what I pay my money to send you to school for. Don't sing that Creolese. Eternally, 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 oh eternally, 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 oh hey. One morning the captain wake, he wake the boatman wake, he wake the bowman wake, with the paddle in the hand. All I want is a long and strong, it's too much of me, long and strong, eternally, oh, row the boat, captain, put me ashore. Hold on a minute, Happy. Look here, I'm not up here to be singing alone. You got a part to play. So if I don't get the ahas, I'm gonna stop. There we go. Captain, put me ashore. I don't want to go anymore. He telling me I'm frightened me. He telling me I'm bust me belly. He telling me I'm drunk in me. He telling me I'm too much of me. He telling me, boy. They want me go up to Pataro with the Essequibo water. It's hard and it's cold, but it broke me soul. It broke me soul, it broke me body, This river you see, got eternally, eternally. Itanami, oi. Captain, Captain, put me ashore. I don't want to go anymore. Itanami, frightened me. Itanami, too much of me. Itanami, bust me belly. Itanami, drowned me. Itanami, 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 Itanami. Oh. Wow, I like that chorus there I heard at the back. So, you know, folk songs really tell stories, right? And the next song I'm going to do, it really tells a story, but it's not the story that you think, because you think that the man, that the mongoose name gone abroad just because he was a mongoose, right? But there's another part of the story that you don't know, right? If you hear Sly Mongoose, your name gone abroad. Sly Mongoose, your name gone abroad. Mongoose go in the lady kitchen, take out one the sheep, big fat chicken, put it inside the waistcoat pocket. Sly Mongoose, if you hear them, Sly Mongoose, the dog know your name. Sly Mongoose, oh the dog know your name. Mongoose go in the white man kitchen, take out one the heap big fat chicken, put it inside the waistcoat pocket. Sly Mongoose, Sly Mongoose, boy don't got no shame. Sly Mongoose, oh you don't got no shame. Mongoose go in Miss Mary kitchen, take out one the sheep big fat chicken, put it inside the waistcoat pocket. Sly Mongoose. So I gotta ask you, you ever see a mongoose? You ever see a mongoose wearing a waistcoat? Huh?
No.
You ever see a mongoose with a waistcoat and a chicken, a big fat chicken in the waistcoat pocket?
No.
So you got to start thinking critically, right? This story is about a boy on the plantation who got smart and seduced the master daughter. And every night, he bring the white man daughter down the back step and going on the coconut tree. Well, I wasn't there, so I don't know what he was doing on the coconut tree. But if something was going on in the coconut tree, because he used to carry it every night, he carried it. And the dog, man, the dog, this fella, the dog know the man's name. Actually, it was a guy named John. But the dog know his name, but the dog can't talk. So the dog can't tell the master. And that's why they sing, dog know your name. And then when the whole story busts, and the white man embarrassed, he take the girl, pack up all her clothes, and he sends her back to England. And that is how Sly Mongoose name went abroad. Sly Mongoose. Sly Mongoose, your name gone abroad. Sly Mongoose, oh your name gone abroad. Mongoose go in the lady kitchen, take out one the sheep big fat chicken, put it inside the waistcoat pocket. Sly Mongoose. These are the songs we used to sing when we were in Guyana. These are the songs we used to sing, I hope everybody remember. These are the songs we used to sing when we were in Guyana. These are the songs that we used to sing, I hope everybody hear them now. Jane engage, I should take nobody like she. Jane engage, I should take nobody like she. Run a coca dam something, rock away, run a coca dam. Run a coca dam something, rock away, run a coca dam. Mommy hold the light, let me see something biting me or me. Mommy hold the light, let me see something biting me or me. If you think I lie, me I tell mommy girl, hold the light, let me see. Mommy hold the light, let me see something crawling up by me. Anyway, Sanko Wanka. I gotta hear you. Anyway, Sanko Wanka. Anyway. 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 Anyway, some go call you. Anyway. Even on the rooftop or down a bottom house. In the foul curb. Behind the latrine. And I know a lot, you see how she laughing? Look how she laughing. Like she remember them days behind the latrine. She laughing loud. Or even up on the seawall. How all of a sudden everybody know that one? All the women answer anyway. Anyway, oh. Anyway. Here are the best, Allah. Here are the best, Allah. Washe Allah far. Washe Allah far. For the morning cock crow, here are the best, Allah. I say bundle and there we go. Here are the best, Allah. I feel like a morning star. I feel like a morning star. Problem! There's a problem there. This Auntie Bess is hollering at 4 o'clock in the morning. And a cock crowing. And the full cock don't crow at 4 o'clock. The full cock is crow at 6 o'clock. Why is there a cock crowing at 4 o'clock in the morning and Auntie Bess hollering? And when the whole thing done, to walk out, I feel like a morning star. Well, what's she feeling like a morning star about? Well, I don't know, I asking you. Don't look at me, I can't tell you, I asking you. I feel like a morning star. I feel like a morning star. Morning, neighbor, morning. I don't want to take a knife in morning. When you've been a corrupt, you not been tell me morning. Now because your money that you hustle for tell me morning. When you had your pocket full, you not been tell me morning. Now because your money that just keep your knife in morning. Oh Joseph bore me. Pour me for the one get a piece. One bunch replanted, one string for quarry, one jill black pepper. This all the money that you work for. 2 pound note and a kill a piece. 2 pound note and a kill a piece. 2 pound note and a kill a piece. What is the money that you work for? I say morning neighbor. I don't want you can I be morning. Me been a bag there for weed and he cut the shop up me. Poor boy. He can't back there for weed and he cut the shop off me. Well, he cut the shop a piece of grass. Don't get carried away now. Don't get carried away. I know y'all are decent people. Do not get carried away. Me been a bag there for what? I mean I hear where morning trip pass. Me been a bag there for what? I mean I hear where morning trip. Uncle Joe. Me build a guava dam, and make it a guava finyam. Me build a guava dam, and make it a guava finyam. Uncle Joe. Little girl, we'll make your praises so. Little girl, we'll make your praises so. I've been put it down and I'm on me hand, that make a praises so. This make a praises, that make a praises, this make a praises. Oh, stupid Carrie, left she mommy, for go marry, for one gold ring. Stupid Carrie. Stupid little girl, we'll make your praises so. Little girl, we'll make your praises so. Neighbor, lend me your motor, the platinum coal already. Neighbor, lend me your motor, the platinum coal already. Coal already, the platinum coal already. Now the next version. Neighbor, neighbor, lend me your mortar. I gotta hear you. Neighbor, neighbor, lend me your mortar. Mortar for bangwa foo. What you gonna do with foo? You know, y'all been out of Guyana too long. That's the problem here. Neighbor, neighbor, lend me your mortar. We can do with mortar for bangwa foo. Foo for put that belly. Belly for make one picnic. Picnic for what for money.